Hey, how you doing? I am so thrilled to come and talk to you today about what I think is some pretty important and life-changing stuff. I'm going to, in a sense, not a literal one, lay myself bare in front of you today and get real honest and raw about something that happened for me fairly recently. And it's directly a result of the course I'm going to talk to you about today. And the course is the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp. I know, it's a great name, which is the project and a labor of love from a really incredible woman called Denise Duffield-Thomas. And she is just an absolute firecracker. She's an Australian coach. She's a money mindset mentor, and she's the creator of this course, the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp. And the link I'm going to give you today is actually the link to her free money manifesting course, which is honestly just a taste, just a smidgen of the awesomeness that you can expect when you sign up for the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp. And I hope that the manifesting course does help to sway you, as well as this review today and my testimonial about the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp, which I just completed less than 6 days ago. I completed the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp. It's a 6-week course, and it's completely online, although she did introduce a live workshop with live calls that she does to help you through each week of the course now. And so that's just completed. And, you know, to say that this course is life-altering, to say that some pretty amazing shifts took place in my life is really an understatement. This really did change my life. I had a personal transformation and energy shifts galore because of taking this course. And I've taken money manifesting courses before. I have taken a lot of self-improvement classes and courses before, and live workshops, and I've gone that route many times. And even though I'm up here in front of you as as a leader and a teacher, offering perspective in your life and espousing wisdom, it doesn't mean that I have all the answers. It doesn't mean that I've achieved this level of know all and be all. Far from it. I truly believe that in order to be a teacher, you have to still be taught. The teacher needs to be taught. And the best way to be a teacher, actually, is to be a lifelong learner. To me, there is no separation between the two. And so even though, I'm up here, talking to you in my Facebook group and talking to clients and giving workshops and doing, live online courses, I don't know it all. I still struggle. I still try to up-level with each new plateau that I reach in my level of, abundance. I know that there's still more to expand into. I know that there's still more that I strive for. And it's not because I have this feeling that there's never enough. On the contrary, it's that every time I up-level to a new plateau of success, of abundance, whatever that is, I'm expanding, just like the universe is always expanding. And so, much like the universe craves further expansion, we all crave further expansion. And you'll never reach that. You'll never fully realize that in this lifetime. But that's okay, because here's the thing. It's about the journey. It's about being on the journey. It's about savoring every moment of the journey and enjoying the process. Because, and for lack of a better word, I don't want to use process because that sounds so clinical and technical, but life, it's a ride. How about that? That's better than process. It is a ride. And it can be a really fun ride, depending on your perspective. But you'll never learn it all. You'll never know it all, because you're constantly expanding. And in that sense, you'll never be completely fully realized. But that's okay, because it's about the ride. It's about enjoying the ride. And for me, enjoying the ride is to keep learning. I'm a searcher. I'm a seeker. Abundance for me means enjoying what I have in each day and savoring all the abundance that already exists in my life, but knowing that if I keep clearing my energy, if I keep opening up the pathways with which I can receive more abundance, I will, and I will receive further expansion. So that's part of my search. That's what I'm seeking. And for you that are in my, my Facebook group, you're all seekers and searchers too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you today. If you weren't seeking out more abundance in your life, if you weren't searching for your own further expansion, you wouldn't have even joined this group in the first place, right? So never stop learning. Never stop figuring out how you can open up your energy even more to receive more abundance. And so, like I said, the teacher still needs to be taught. And so when I took this course, I realized that, even though I talk about manifesting and I work on that a little bit in some of my workshops here and there, and certainly I have my free Manifesting from the Soul workshop that you can go to my website on kathrynmassell.com and sign up for that for free when you go to the free guided meditations and courses page. I know that I'm not a manifesting maven. Certainly not like Denise Duffield-Thomas is. This woman absolutely lives and breathes manifesting. And, not only do I have a huge girl crush on her because she's awesome and she's super down to earth and she's a little salty, she's a little fiery, and she is just super, super chill. She's got a great message to deliver. And she takes a holistic approach to doing energy clearing, much like I do. I am, if you're not familiar with this about me, I am an abundance creation coach. I'm an intuitive mentor. I'm an energy healer. So, I'm always beating the drum of energy healing, and in such a way that you have to approach it on a holistic level. It has to be mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical. And the way she approaches decluttering in your life, decluttering all the energy, the negative energy, the low frequency stuff, the blocks, the resistance. If you're not decluttering that, you're literally keeping your abundance at arm's length from you. And so she throws everything at it, just like I do. I take this holistic approach to decluttering. So I know that this isn't my particular area of expertise, but that's why I decided to promote this woman. That's why I want to talk about what she does, because even though she has thousands and thousands of clients worldwide and women who take this Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp course, I feel that she can reach even more people. And I want to help her do that because her message is so profound and the results of what you get out of the program are so amazing and transformational that I want to turn on as many people as I possibly can to it. And here's the other thing. I'm going to be really honest and open and raw and candid with you today, but I'm going to start right now by telling you, yes, I'm an affiliate for her. I sell her course. But I will also tell you this. I don't sell anybody else's stuff. I'm not an affiliate for anyone else or any other thing. My name is my brand, and my brand is my name. And so for me, I put a lot of integrity and soul and heart into what I do, into what I offer. I don't craft anything and put it out into the world with my name on it that doesn't have complete and total integrity and honesty behind it. I deliver on the promises that I make. And so I would never promote anyone else's stuff who didn't do the exact same thing and have the exact same approach to business as I do. Not only that, but this course, the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp, absolutely delivers on everything that it promises. And the reason that I became an affiliate for her and why I sell this course, I'm going to go into in more detail in a minute. But it's because of the profound shift, well, one of them, one major one, but many more, that happened to me while I took this course. Actually, right when I was in the last leg of it, in the 6th week of the course, I had one of the most profound transformational energy shifts I've ever had. And that's quite a statement because I'm an energy healer and I do energy clearing all the time on myself and on others. So this is an ongoing process for me. And so I experience little shifts all the time. And certainly as I've been up-leveling in my business, And the level of success that I achieve, I'm going to, and you will too, and you notice this in your life probably, you bump up against new blocks. You have hidden challenges that you have to uncover and then create awareness around and release. And every time you up level in your life, you will experience that. You will bump up against that stuff. And it's all ego trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you right where you are in your comfort zone with what's familiar. Because anytime we up level to a new level of success, it's unfamiliar to us. We're out of our comfort zone. And so the ego naturally wants to just pull you right back to where you were before. So what happens if you don't create awareness around these blocks that you're bumping up against, you will create a really, really fun scenario of self-sabotage for you unless you are aware of this process happening. And this is what the course primarily centers on, is being able to declutter that stuff. Create awareness around where you might be creating self-sabotage when you reach new levels of success, when you create new goals for yourself. Could be a monetary goal, could be anything. When you create new goals for yourself, it puts you in a zone of unfamiliarity. It creates a space for you where your ego says, we don't know what this is. We got to back off here. Whoa, whoa. And so what will happen unconsciously if you're not aware of the ego stepping in and taking over, starting to drive the bus, what you'll do is some form of self-sabotage, some kind of cycle that you go through. So if you say to yourself every once in a while, every time I get to this level of success in my life, this happens. Something goes wrong. Well, what is that something that goes wrong? What can you trace that back to? And this course is really good about getting you to a place where you can identify all of that and then get rid of it. Declutter it. Have it, kick it to the curb and have it just go away. The thing is, each time you up level to a new plateau of success, you will bump up against a whole new host of hidden challenges. But that's okay, because what did I say earlier? It's about having fun on the ride. If you understand this is just something that happens, it's just a process that you have to go through, then it becomes kind of easy to say, oh, okay, I see where this is happening again. Great, I need to clear it. And then once you clear it, you're done with it. You can reach that new level of success. You'll have a new host of challenges when you reach that next level, but then you'll know what to do with that too. The next time those come around, you'll be able to identify it more clearly. You'll have more awareness around it. You'll be more awake to this process, right? So don't get hung up necessarily on the fact that, every time you do reach a new level of success in your life that you're going to have challenges. Look at it as an opportunity for more expansion. Instead of seeing the negative side of that, which says, oh God, I got to do some more energy clearing. Oh, so sick of doing energy clearing. Don't do that to yourself. Don't dig yourself in that hole. Think of it as an opportunity for your growth. And you can easily facilitate that if you just understand this process, that you're going to bump up against the ego. You're going to bump up against self-sabotage because really, it's unfamiliar to you, that new level of success. But you can get over that pretty easily. And so if you've listened to, any of my courses, if you've taken any of my free courses, or if you've been coached by me in any kind of paid service or coaching package or program, you know that first and foremost for me, energy clearing. That's where we start. Yes, I'm biased because, I'm a Reiki master and I've done energy healing and clearing for over 15 years now, and that's a big part of what I offer, because you're never going to get where it is or what it is that you want if you have conflicting beliefs around having it. And that's what clearing your energy is all about. And I know a lot of times you can get hung up on the fact that you have these energy blocks. They could be old emotional traumas, old limiting beliefs that you just recycle over and over and over again throughout life. They may have been things that you developed when you were a little kid. But here's the thing, until you clear that drama, you clear that negative energy, you're going to keep replaying those old scenarios out over and over and over again. And that is just boring. It's boring. And you're over that now. You're over that now. Aren't you ready to just move on to where it is you need to be? Aren't you ready to be that person how the universe sees you? You know, being this big, bright beacon of light that shines in the world and gets your message out, that declares your power, that stands in your own power. Don't you want to be that person? Well, here's the thing. You can't get there unless you clear your blocks to that first. It's like knowing that you're stuck. You're here, and everything you want is right here, but you're literally keeping yourself an arm's length from it. When you won't clear those conflicting beliefs around why you can't have it, why you think you can't have it, why you've convinced yourself that you can't have it, why you've, over the years believed this at a cellular level that you are not entitled to X, Y, or Z. Well, you can clear it. And the other thing that people get hung up on is that it's going to be painful. That energy clearing it's too painful. It's too arduous to go back and re-examine all the stuff that went wrong. Well, you know what? It's not about reliving it. When you do energy clearing, and there's a lot of really painless ways to do energy clearing, I'm going to talk about a few of them in just a minute, but what happens is you're actually going to a point where you're just creating awareness around what it is that happened so that you're reviewing it instead of reliving it. You're not back in that energy. It's more like you're looking at it like you're a fly on the wall, looking at what happened. You don't have to relive it. You can just review it. And it only takes a little bit of time to put yourself back in that moment. And if you're set up to do some energy clearing around it right away, when you do something really quick and fast and easy, like EFT tapping, or the Ho'oponopono forgiveness technique, which I'm going to talk about both of those in a minute, it's so quick. It's so quick to do that clearing around it. With something like the Ho'oponopono forgiveness technique, you're saying 4 different statements around a statement about where you're stuck. You'll say it out loud, maybe something you're remembering from your past and you want to release. You write it down so you can see it in front of you, because that's really powerful, the written word, to see it in front of you, what your trauma is, what your hurt is, what your pain is. To write it down and look at it and say it out loud. And then you say these 4 little energy statements around it, okay? I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, and I love you. 4 very powerful phrases. And when you say that, you're speaking to your inner child, that part of you that's holding all that hurt, the part of you that keeps reliving all of these cycles of hurt and making it matter in all these different areas of your life, really kind of creating this veil of who you think you are, this illusion. It's like a hologram kind of, but it's not really who you are at all. And in that moment, in saying those 4 statements, you're releasing that. And depending on how deep the trauma is, or the pain, or the hurt, you may need to say it a few times, but you say it until you feel that energy clear, until you feel that healing coming in, until you feel that lightness, that letting go, that releasing. And then it feels amazing. And sometimes it's instantaneous. Sometimes it's so wicked quick, it's ridiculous. And then you feel lighter, you feel clearer. And this is what happened to me. This is what happened to me when I took this course. And you're going to have incredible epiphanies with this course. You're going to do a lot of energy clearing, but you're going to work on a lot of stuff that's on the positive side too. You're going to work on the things you want to be, do, and have. Because listen up, ladies, you can be, do, and have anything you want if you stand in your power. This is what I'm always talking about. But what does standing in your power means? What does that mean? It means absolutely saying, I don't want to be this way anymore. I choose to have my life be the way that I design it, and I won't lay down for my fears anymore. All your fears, your limiting beliefs, and your blocks, they're as real as you make them, okay? They may be an illusion. They may be a hologram of who you truly are, but they are as real as you make them, okay? But once you can release these fears, once you can release these blocks, these limits to your abundance, they're no longer real. They no longer hold any power over your life. And you get to decide how you want to direct your life. You get to be the captain of your own vessel. But you have to clear the energy first. It's so important. So I want to just say one more thing about that, the clearing, the energy clearing is super, super important. But also, when you clear that energy, knowing what you want to do with this new story that you want to write for yourself is really important too. So the course isn't just about energy clearing, it's about creating this template for how you want your life to be going forward. And she's very good at giving you structure so that you can decide on the shape that your life is going to take. Once you clear this energy, once you're open, you're clear, and you've released yourself from these old limiting patterns and beliefs, now what are you going to do? So she doesn't just kind of leave you there and drop you. You've got some structure. You've got some opportunities to create a template, to put up the scaffolding, really, for what it is that you want to create in your life going forward. And it could be anything. So, you can only do that. You can only move forward into that place where you're kind of creating the scaffolding of what's going forward. Certainly you can create it now, but you can really start filling it in once you start clearing your energy and your blocks to it and getting rid of those conflicting beliefs to what you want. And you can only do that if you're willing to embrace two things, really. That know that you don't know it all, that you haven't experienced it all, that you haven't seen it all. Know that there's something that you still need to know. If you think you've done a lot of energy clearing so far, if you think that, God, I don't really have any blocks anymore. I want this abundance. I don't know why it's coming to me. Well, if you go inward and check in with your guidance, like I did, you'll figure out the reason why you don't have what it is that you want to come to you yet in your life, because you are blocked somewhere. There's something that's keeping you from it. It is possible for you to be an absolutely brilliant manifester. You are a powerful manifester already. All you have to do is look at the life that's laid out in front of you. You created that, the good and the bad. But your life is your creation. Whatever you want to do going forth is your creation. The freer your energy is, the more clear your energy is, the more you can create. And the more that you want will come to you easily and effortlessly. The more you open up those energetic pathways to receive and allow abundance to come in, the more that will. Okay? So know that you don't know it all. Know that there's probably somewhere where you can still open up and clear your energy. And the other part of that is, yes, you can always clear more energy, but don't get hung up on the fact that you'll never clear it all, right? Like I mentioned before, it's about the journey. Take the perspective instead that there's always more opportunities for you to expand. You can always become greater. You can always become more abundant. You can always become more healthy. You can always become more fit. You can always become more tolerant, more compassionate. You can always become more loving. You can always have a greater sense of self-worth, okay? And it's not about this striving for perfection or a life fully realized. You can move towards that, but you will never be a fully realized person in this lifetime. That's just not going to happen. We will never reach our full potential because we're expanding all the time. But that's okay, because it's part of the ride. And the ride should be fun. If you're involved in something every day where you're just, toiling away and you feel like you're just involved in arduous task after arduous task, ask yourself, is that how you want to live your life? The way the universe sees you, they see you as being this bright beacon of light that is living in their power and feeling love, feeling expansion, feeling abundance, looking around at the world and saying, I choose love instead of fear. I choose abundance instead of lack. If you're toiling away at something every day, that's coming from very much a lack mentality, because it's like, I'll never have enough. Give yourself a little bit of a break, pull back from that a little bit. Because when we can pull back from our life and see things from this wide angle lens, it's like having this super conscious, or what I call the God's eye view of your life. That's the view that your higher self has. It pulls back the lens and sees everything as a whole, all the moving parts. And if you can inhabit that part of yourself more and more and see your life in that way, you'll realize, okay, This is not right. This is not how I want to live my life. I don't want to be toiling every day. I don't want to be involved in arduous tasks every day. Moving me towards this one great goal where one day I'm going to be happy, one day I'm going to be wealthy. Choose to feel wealthy every day. Choose to feel happy every day. Make yourself feel it incrementally instead of moving towards this one, end all be all thing that's this beautiful, golden road that you've paved for yourself with this one major goal at the end that will allow you to finally be happy. You finally feel whole, finally feel worth. That doesn't exist. It's an illusion. The reality is that you can feel this way every day, but you got to clear your energy around it. You got to move some stuff around. You got to shift some perspective here and there. Allow yourself to go inward a little bit more so you can see yourself from that higher self perspective. And certainly when you clear your energy more, what you're doing when you get rid of that negative low frequency energy, you're opening up those energetic pathways with which you receive a direct line of communication from that not only higher part of yourself, but the divine, greater creative forces in the universe. Because after all, that's what your higher self is. Your higher self is that God consciousness extension of who you are, but it resides within you, but it's connected to the divine, greater forces of the universe. So if you clear that negative energy more often, that direct line of communication with your higher self is better than Ma Bell. You're going to have clear, static-free communication with your higher self and also with the greater creative forces of the universe. Your connection to the divine is more profound. It's clearer. It's stronger. Okay? So clear that energy. Okay? I think I went on about that long enough. So my story with this, my testimonial really about this course and the huge shift that took place for me. So I'm going to go into it. And it makes me a little nervous to talk about this because I'm laying myself bare here. But when I went inward for guidance to find out if it was okay, if it felt safe for me to talk about this, the very clear message that I received was that you kind of have to talk about this because it'll help you clear it even more. There's something really profound that happens when you share with others. It becomes real. It no longer exists just in your head or on a piece of paper in front of you. And that doesn't always make it scary. It feels scary at first because it's unknown to you what's going to happen. You think about all the ways you're going to be judged. You think about, all the ways that people are looking at you and saying, tisk, tisk, tisk. But that's all ego stuff. You got to get rid of that, And so as part of my journey and how this brings everything full circle for me in the course that I took, the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp, how this all comes full circle to me and has allowed me to not only feel like I totally got my money's worth from this course, but have healed some of my karma too, was to go through this last step and make this video and this testimonial so that maybe a few of you out there can understand that it's okay to be real, to be honest, and to be candid, to know that we're blocked sometimes and we don't know why or how. And then when we do fully realize it, we can move on with our lives. We can be the person we're truly meant to be. And that's very much how I feel about what happened to me this past week, so I'm going to go into it. So, like I said, I just finished up week 6 of the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp from Denise Duffield-Thomas. And I'd taken other manifesting courses before, but nothing, and they were great in their own way, but nothing hit me in my heart and soul the way that this course did. There was a lot of energy clearing throughout, but at the very end is when I had this big epiphany. I had a pretty big revelation, actually, when I was watching the week 6 video. There's a video called Help, I Suck, and Denise Duffield-Thomas is talking to you about Maybe you didn't receive the results from this course that you really wanted to. Maybe you weren't seeing, a big fat pocketbook. Maybe you weren't seeing a full roster of clients. And now is the time to go in and really examine why that might not have happened. And it's called Help, I Suck, which is great. So I was listening to Denise explain why I might not be getting all the results I was looking for from the course. And in the spirit of throwing everything at it, which she encourages you to do in the course, if you think there's a stone unturned, turn it over. If you think you want to do all kinds of energy clearing to just get rid of where you're blocked, do it. If you need to declutter more physically, do it. So throw everything at it. And so, as I often do, I went inward for guidance, and I asked my intuition, my higher self, what haven't I uncovered yet? Why do I feel that there's still something that's really, really big that I haven't realized yet? And pretty much instantaneously, this revelation hit me really, really hard. Almost like, when you're choking on something and someone hits you on the back, so it'll pop out of your throat. I'm not kidding. It was like that. I felt it physically, like a jolt. And all of this stuff flooded into my mind within probably an instant. That I'm not attracting more or even enough clients in my business because I only work pretty much exclusively now with female clients. And I'm still holding on to resentment and anger and blame towards females because they were often cruel to me when I was growing up. I'm an empath and an intuitive. If you don't know what an empath is, I'm clairsentient, which means I feel things, I sense things very strongly. When I was a little kid, you can imagine that was pretty awkward for me because I didn't understand what was going on. I would take on other people's energies like a sponge, and animals too. And sometimes I would feel very melancholy or elated, and I didn't understand that there was a separation between the feelings of other people that I was around and my own, and so I would take on these feelings as my own. And so you can imagine my young life was fairly confusing. I didn't really understand until much later what an empath was and what that meant for me, and that I could start using it as a tool instead of a crutch. And I certainly use it as a tool in my energy healing practice, but this was all long before I had an energy healing practice. And so I was an intuitive. I am an intuitive as well, so I would also sense things very strongly or see things sometimes. I'm a little clairvoyant, not a lot. I'm mostly clairsentient. So to put it mildly, growing up was pretty awkward, and I didn't ever fit in. I had few female friends. I had a lot of male friends. I was a total tomboy, and I got along really easy with other boys my age, and I always felt safer with them. Other girls my age often singled me out to be bullied, either physically or mentally, so that was really tough. And to this day, most of my friends are male because it just feels safer. And I can literally count the amount of longtime female friends on one hand, less than one hand. So I tend to steer clear of other women in my personal life. Yet, I created my coaching business to help other women stand in their power. When this whole time, I was giving away my own power to this old fear, this resentment, this blame that I was holding on to towards other females. And it was going, until a few days ago, totally unchecked. So no wonder, I hadn't been seeing the kind of success I truly wanted in my business. And, I do work with men sometimes, and I always find that to be easier. They're a little easier to figure out too. That's a very general statement, but they don't have as many blocks as females do, which is interesting. Even though we are so incredibly successful, we always doubt our success. Men, not so much. They're just like, what's next? So that's an interesting dynamic. But anyway, even though I do work with men sometimes, I created my business and I crafted a business around working almost exclusively with females. So when I was wondering why, my business was, I was doing all this work and I, was moving so frantically towards, all this success that I wanted and, getting published, writing a book, doing speaking engagements, all of this, but still not gaining the traction that I hoped to see in my business. And only until a few days ago did I realize how conflicted I was, that I was literally holding this counter intention within myself, this conflicting belief, holding on to all this anger and resentment and blame. No wonder I wasn't getting any traction in my business. No wonder I'm not seeing the kind of success that I want to see. And, even saying this right now, it feels amazing to let go of that and to feel the truth of this all at once. And I wrote it down, and I wrote in what's really awesome about the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp is that there's a private Facebook group. So you take the course, you have the course for a lifetime, and you can take it over and over again. I'm about to start it and take it over again because I still feel like maybe there's more stuff to uncover here. But the bootcamp course goes along with the Facebook group, which is thousands of women who are your support base. And to talk about things like these revelations that come up. And when I posted this in the group, it felt really good to just write this down and let it go and release it. And also part of releasing it was doing a bunch of EFT tapping on it so that I could fully release it, on a cellular, muscular, and skeletal level, because all that stuff sits in your body, that negative energy, especially if you've held on to it for, 30 years now. I'm 44, so, I've been holding on to this for a really, really long time, more than 30 years. So that affects you on a deep physical level. So I did the EFT tapping, and if you don't know what EFT tapping is, you should go to my YouTube channel. There's videos on EFT tapping there, but it's fantastic. In my free courses that I offer, if you check out those on my website as well, I usually feature one EFT tapping exercise at least. But emotional freedom technique is literally just tapping on different meridian points in the body to release negative energy. So I did that. I did the Ho'oponopono forgiveness technique. And I did it several times until I felt that energy get clearer and lighter, until I really felt it just releasing. I work with the archangels from time to time, especially when doing energy clearing cord cutting. So I asked Archangels Michael and Archangels Raziel to help me cut the cords to that connection, to that blame that I was feeling towards these young ladies, towards these females that had been cruel to me growing up, and actually had continued to throughout my life. I haven't had really, positive relationships with other females, except if they were much older than me. The ladies that I feel more connected to at this point in my life, they're usually 20 or 30 years older than me, because that probably felt on an unconscious level safer for me, because they were over all this stuff in some way, that they're more mature, so they don't, I don't know. I'm not going to analyze it further than that, but I also, on top of the cord cutting and the EFT tapping and the forgiveness technique, decided that it would be really powerful for me to reframe all of this for myself in such a way that when I think about these females that were cruel to me growing up, I had to have compassion for them in order to fully release all of this. And so it would heal my karma and theirs, and really serve to cut that cord completely so that it couldn't reform, was to have compassion and kindness for these females, because the truth of bullying is that no one does any bullying unless they're being bullied themselves. So there was someone taking their power away. So they felt compelled to take my power away. And it's not their fault. And so making that connection and having that realization allowed me to release that fully if I reframed it. And I went even further to reframe all this by saying, with every female that I work with, every coaching client that I have, every woman that signs up for one of my, services or packages or online courses, the more I can help her stand in her own power with every new female client that I have, that will help me further release and leave in the past all of that old karma and connection that I have to these feelings of resentment or fear or blame. And with each woman that I help, it becomes more of a distant memory. And certainly if I help each woman stand more firmly in their own power, it's only going to help to serve me better stand in mine. So that's some pretty powerful stuff. And it feels a little raw to say all of that because this is really a fresh revelation for me. This happened within this past week. But this course helped me to find that out. When I had this revelation, things started to clear up for me right away. I, in my Facebook group, for instance, I had, and I'm still having this happen, which is amazing, 16 people, 16 women, join the Facebook group inside of a week. That's a record for me. I had 2 women reach out to me for, and I had had discovery calls with them in the past because they were potential clients before, and they came and sought me out again, out of the blue. Okay, although I don't believe there are coincidences. This is not a coincidence. I believe that it's a direct result of me clearing my energy with this. A woman that I had been going back and forth with about publishing an article, she kept wanting me to make these changes and make changes and make changes until I felt like, oh, this article is not mine anymore, it's yours. So no, I'm not going to make any more changes. If you want to publish me, that's great. If you don't want to, fine. I'm going to let that go. And this was months ago. And then 3 days ago, she sent me an email telling me she was just out of the blue going to publish my article. And the article went live today in Positively Positive, which is an online blog and newsletter site. So some pretty profound shifts keep happening. And I just signed a new client this morning. Women are starting to respond to my Facebook posts more and engage with me. And I feel okay with engaging them back. And I feel an open and warm and welcoming energy to me, kind of embracing this part of myself that says it's okay to trust women again. It's okay to have faith in that no one wants to hurt me, no one wants to bully me. I'm too strong for that now, and I certainly won't live by, these fears that were guiding my life unconsciously. I won't lay down for that anymore. I'm too strong for that. Now that I've created this awareness and had this revelation, I certainly won't revert back to that again, now that I've created awareness around it. And even though it was a painful memory to think about this the other day, the release that was almost instantaneous felt so exhilarating. It felt so light. It felt like hitting the reset button on my life. And then certainly the things that started to cascade into my life in a very positive way right after that made it all worthwhile. These are the kind of shifts that you can expect to happen in this course. And so that's why I want to promote this. That's why I want to put my name on this and my stamp of approval and get it out to as many women as possible, because profound shifts are going to happen. Things are going to change in your life. You're going to prime the pump to, be able to receive more abundant energy in your life, to allow for that up-leveling of success, more abundance, more joy, more wealth. And yes, it's a money manifesting course, the Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp, but honestly, it is so much more. So much more. And I'm excited to go in and take it all again, fresh from the beginning. I'm going to start that this weekend. So if you have any questions, if if I can help you with this at all, if you need more clarity on my testimonial or anything like that, you can always reach out to me in the Facebook group or at my email, contact@kathrynmassell.com. You can go to my website and check me out there. It feels awesome to be able to have an audience to tell this to, and I hope that, even for one of you out there, I hope this resonated for you. I hope this made sense to you. So I'm going to put the link for the free money manifesting course on this post, and so you can check out the free course. Check her out, just get a taste of the awesomeness that is Denise Duffield-Thomas, because the free money manifesting course, it's just a 7-day course that gets delivered to your email inbox, but it really just kind of just scratches the surface of what you can uncover when you go further with this type of work. Because here's the thing. As females, even though we may be very successful, we may be aware of where we are powerful, but we do something really, really interesting. We always question it. We never really trust it. We always kind of wonder, when is the other shoe going to drop? We have achieved this incredible level of success, and we have all these accomplishments. We've slayed dragons in the past, but we always want to go back and question it. Well, that's how we give away our power. Stop doing that. Accept that you've slayed certain dragons. Accept that you've made accomplishments in your life, that you've achieved great things. Honor it, celebrate it, accept it. Don't question it anymore. And this workshop helps you to do that. So, I feel better. And one other big takeaway from this was, after this revelation, I asked myself quite honestly, do I want to keep working with women then? And the answer was, a resounding yes. That I really, really do love women, and I crave a deeper connection with them. But for so long, I wasn't allowing myself to have that, and I really feel that that's all changed now. And so, I hope my honesty and my candor and, this raw testimonial has served you in some way, and it's resonated for you. And I have a lot of love in my heart and a lot of compassion right now, and I hope that you can feel that. I'm sending it out to you. So love and light to you all.